Hey guys, welcome back to the Into the Jungle podcast. I'm your host, Chase Blau. You might have seen me at a football game or two. I'm involved in student council and jungle squad. This is my co-host.
I'm Josephine Tucia. I really enjoy doing art and talking to people.
And today we're going to be interviewing two members of the Pride of Broken Arrow. This is our brass captain, Austin Horton, and our woodwind captain, Jasmine Thomas. So why don't you guys just tell us a little bit about yourselves? Let us get to know you a little bit.
Yeah, so I grew up in a family of four. My older brother's at OU. And my mom's a NICU nurse at St. Francis. She's been there for over 5 years. My dad's been working for AT&T in graphic design and also runs a nonprofit on the side. Yeah, a really great family. I have two dogs. One's named Simba and one's named Teddy. We call it Teddy Chunk because when he was a baby, he was real fat. But, he's grown into his size now. And, yeah, it's a really great family.
That's great.
Excuse me. I have a younger brother. And he's also in band as well, so hopefully he tries out for Pride in the spring. And I have my mom and my dad. My mom's a nurse. My dad, who knows what our dads do? My dad he has a job, I promise. But he switches around with companies a lot. So his most recent job is a smaller software development ? But I also have a dog as well, not two, but one. And her name's Zoe, and she's a Beagle Lab mix. So, yeah.
Oh, that's fun. What made you guys want to join the Pride of Broken Arrow?
Jasmine.
Okay. For me, I did not know that, Pride was really a thing until 8th grade. And Mr. Davis, who was head of bands and director of bands at that time, he came in and started talking about the Pride. And my family and I also came and we watched a community performance of the show that year, which was Queen. It was 2020. And I looked at the performers on the field, and I saw how much fun they were having, and I just was like, I want to do this. I want to try out for this. I want to be a part of this. And I know for me, at least, it was definitely something new and different because I had done soccer before. I had done volleyball, a lot of team sports, but I'd never done something like marching band. It's so different. It's so new. And so I decided that was going to be my thing, and it's been my thing for the past 4 years.
All right. And if you, Austin?
Yeah, so my dad, he actually, my mom, let's start off with her first. She originally went to college for vocal music, different stuff like that. My dad, he's always been on and off just picking up a guitar and playing it every now and then. So I've always had music in my life. So whenever it came around 6th grade, the first time that you could choose an elective that was band, I just wanted to dive head deep into it. So I was really involved in band, at least in middle school, and still to this day. But in my middle school journey, I really loved it, really learned how to play the trombone and, how to play really well. And I grew a passion in it. So when it came down to joining the high school, joining the freshman academy, and then also joining the Pride of Broken Arrow, I just knew I wanted to further my journey with that.
Oh, that's good to hear.
What is your favorite part about Pride?
My favorite part about Pride is probably the memories. Obviously traveling is a very, very fun part in it. You get to go with your friends, spend slightly
all your time
with them.
It's 40 hours a week. Oh wow,
it's crazy. But you get to know a lot of people very, very well. But at the end of the season, you're all putting in so much blood, sweat, and tears. All this very, very determined hard work. And your end result, your show that you get to leave with, that's something that will last forever.
Oh yeah,
100%. The memories that you make, and the person that you are. Starting freshman year, this organization from freshman to senior year has molded me into someone totally new, and in the best way possible. I've learned skills that I would have never had if I had not been a part of it. If I had just stayed in concert band, and there's no hate to people who just stay in concert band. Those people are also extremely talented players, and they are well-rounded because they get to focus on other things. But this is just the high school experience that I chose, and to be able to have that experience is just it's nothing else. And you all there's nothing more special than over 200 people working for the same goal. There's nothing like that in the whole world. And so these past 4 years have definitely made such a memory and truly best 4 years of my life.
Yeah, I can only imagine. I mean, with so many people in Pride and you guys spending so much time, it's almost like a
Yeah.
family, isn't it?
Oh, for
you,
sure.
You join, you automatically have over 200 friends.
That's awesome. What would you say some of the difficulties are of being in the Pride of Broken Arrow? I mean, definitely time constraints and whatnot, but what is something you've learned out of this?
I think just the physical demand, but also the mental demand, especially with this year's show, there's just so much going on. If you watched it, you know that there's so much that's going on. It takes a lot of mental capacity. And so when you, especially during the school year, you wake up at 6 in the morning to go to school, you spend a whole day sitting in classes, sitting in a chair. You're already done with the day, but then you have to go to a 2 hour practice after your practice isn't until 9 after school. And so your mind is just fried, but your directors and your upperclassmen are telling you to push through. I think it's definitely really hard to have the like mental capacity to like lock in and be able to execute what's been given to you and do it to the best of your abilities.
Mhm.
Yeah, so bouncing off that, I'd say probably almost the same exact thing, especially during the summer when we're practicing 6 days a week from 1 to 9, having 8 hour rehearsals, which is extremely tough in itself. But, when you're doing that for like 2 to 3 weeks straight and you're going to practice, you're doing all this stuff, you're trying to still maintain like healthy and be confident like in your body and your shape and your performance, showing up on the days that you don't want to show up, that's when you have to like truly push through. That's when the difficult times stroll around a lot easier whenever you're performing constantly like the end of season. You have something to look forward to. You're just like in the summer especially, you're just like working and working and working and then working some more because there's no stop until
Yeah.
the end of the season.
Yeah, it's almost like a full-time job at that.
Oh,
yeah,
of course.
100%.
I can't imagine what keeps you guys, like, why do you guys keep coming back every year?
I think this is the first year where I've genuinely asked myself, like, why did I do this? And not because, like, it turned out being horrible, but I just realized how much strain it would be, I guess, like, on my, like, relationships with my family, with my friends, and, like, my relationships with my teachers and peers in class and stuff like that. And I think just reflecting, like asking myself why this year definitely kept me like wondering why I did it. And it's just like, it, as I was saying earlier, you have 200 people working for the same goal. Why would you not want to do that and keep coming back for that? Because there's no better feeling than getting to the end of the season and like performing in your last performance or performing in finals, whatever that performance should be, and you take your instrument off your face and you look into the crowd and there's people standing on their feet clapping for you because so many people in the audience understand what you do and they get what you do. And knowing that feeling, like, obviously we're in the Pride of Broken Arrow, we have 200 friends when you join, but you also have people and kids across the country who know exactly what you do, know how long you work, how hard you work, how many hours you have put in, and people who understand that. I think it's just the greatest feeling, and knowing that that's why I come back. And obviously it's senior year, I won't be coming back, but there will be people who get that same feeling.
Yeah, so at least for me, the main reason I come back, and Chase, you talked about this before about like how over 200 people, it really makes a family of how like much that you're working together. And for me especially, I feel like Pride has become like a home outside of home. You're working 24/7 with these people, around these people constantly. Like, obviously they can get on your nerves, they can act like siblings, but even whenever you're annoyed at your siblings, you still love them. So when those emotions arise and like you're both going through the same exact hurt, obviously you create a bond. You create a bond from that, especially. And when it comes back and when like, oh, I want to be a good example for these people, or I want to prove these people that like, oh, I put my very best into this entire season. After I graduate, especially, like Jasmine was talking about this, we're not coming back next year, but when I come back as an alumni, I see those community performance, or I go to Nats, go to St. Louis, I want to be like, I want other people to think of me of like, oh, I'm so glad that this person made a positive like influence in my life. I want to be that good example for someone else because I know I had plenty of good examples in my like freshman and early class years.
So a lot of times, I mean, whenever you're working through it, it's not even just for yourself; it's for other people as well.
Yes,
You know, it's-
100%.
course.
Like
Yeah.
something directors always tell us is that this organization, like you are doing something that's bigger than yourself because we have almost 100 years of legacy behind us. And so having that on, not like pressure on your shoulders, but knowing that you get to continue that legacy, especially just when alumni come back, how Austin was saying, like, when I come back, I want to see the legacy that I've left. And so, especially senior year, I was thinking, how can what I do and the decisions that I make, how is that going to make my alumni proud? How is it going to make people 50 years ago proud of what I'm doing right now?
Yeah, it's almost like it gives you a newfound sense of purpose.
Of course.
That's good. What does a day in the life of a Pride member look like? I mean, is it a little bit more tougher than usual? I mean, you went over the practice and whatnot, but I mean, let's just talk about like the daily routine.
Daily routine. Let's take a daily routine from the school year. So
And I'll do band camp.
yeah, you can do band camp. After band camp, after you're extremely exhausted already, you start school, you're getting into your classes. First couple weeks are pretty light because, you're just turning in syllabuses, have a couple bell works here and there. Once you get more into the year, obviously, like schoolwork starts to stack up more, you're doing more complex things. Waking up early, doing all this stuff for school, and then after that, you're going from common day, 3:15 to about 6:30. We're doing a music warm-up, a visual warm-up, practicing some fundamentals in different aspects, and then after that, we're just straight in the show. We're cleaning, working on some more stuff, doing some changes, cleaning again, working on stuff, doing some more changes. And then also, after that, you're going home, you're trying to catch up on schoolwork. You're trying to actually get a meal in. And yeah, it's a very tiring process. Obviously, of course, I think a lot of people can really resonate with that. But, at the end of the day, it's totally worth it.
Yeah, 100%. Definitely worth it. So before the school year starts, we have about 3 weeks of what we call band camp. And so that consists of 6, how Austin was saying earlier, 6 8-hour days. And so that's Monday through Saturday. And so it is a lot. But so we'll have 1 to 9s on Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. And then Wednesdays are usually 9 to 5s. And so we usually start the day, brass and woodwinds, we are separate. And color guard and percussion, they also have splits in their days. They do 9 to 12 and then 5 to 9, just because with how
9 to 1.
9 to 1.
9 to 1.
Yes. They do 9 to 1, 5 to 9. And just because with how facilities work, they want to distribute everything equally. And so color guard and percussion will have a break during that. But woodwinds and brass, we go all 8 hours. And then we have a 1-hour lunch break in between, or dinner break. And we will usually start the beginning half of the day before lunch or dinner. We start it in our sections. So like woodwinds will have a long music kind of like break. We'll have a long music section, and so will brass. And then after lunch we'll be in drill, or we'll be in fundamentals. Definitely towards the beginning of the camp we'll be in fundamentals a lot, but towards the end we get into drill, learning how the spots work, learning what the forms look like. And we'll get show music, and we'll learn our different music warm-ups, and that'll all start to be memorized. And as the season goes on, things get a lot quicker because you get to learn things faster, but it definitely is hard in the first week or two.
Wow, that's a lot. And what exactly would you guys recommend to anybody that's looking to join the Pride? Any tips and tricks, maybe some suggestions?
Advocate for yourself 100%, like especially when it comes to the school year. You have to let your teachers know when you're going to be gone, all the things, but especially during band camp, your body has a lot of pressure on it, and so you have to understand what the limits of your body are and how to push those limits, but in a safe way, and knowing that you shouldn't make yourself pass out, but if you can do another rep and not just stand there and breathe really heavily, then you should do the next rep. Like, don't sit out because your mind thinks you can't do it. Like, let your mind push your body.
Yeah, same thing going on with that. And what she said before, you got to think of yourself as a small puzzle piece in a greater picture. You're trying to do all this work, try to benefit the group more. But especially tips and tricks from me. During band camp, if you ever think you've already drank too much water, there's no such thing as too much water. Always bring snacks. We're having liquid IVs, Gatorades. Very, very good to keep those electrolytes up, keep some salt in your body. Granola bars are also very, very great. But, having goldfish are really good. But, having those like small drinks or snacks or whatever that you choose just to fuel your body during rehearsal if you didn't get possibly enough before, or you didn't have a very super good like breakfast, or you just need it.
Yeah, that's what gets you through.
It's really what gets you through. And still, even then, it can be like part of the mind game. She was saying that a lot of people could possibly stop because of a mental barrier. And if you get that kind of extra boost from either any foods or stuff that you bring to prepare yourself for rehearsal more, that can help you a lot in the greater run.
Oh, that's good. I hope our ninth graders can take a little bit from that, as they're going into the Pride of Broken Arrow. But on that note, I think we're going to take a short little break, and then we'll be right back with a couple more questions, maybe a little bit of game. See you guys in just a moment.
All right, see ya.
Right now, get $200 from TTCU Federal Credit Union when you open a new checking account with direct deposit. What would you buy with $200?
Cars, race cars, my own apartment, 100 coloring books, and a puppy.
Or maybe some groceries and a tank of gas. $200 for whatever works for you from TTCU, because life is better in balance.
Hey guys, welcome back to the podcast. We're going to go straight into it. So, like I said before, Austin is our brass captain and Jasmine is our woodwind captain. So, I'm just going to ask you guys, what are some of the commitments that come with being a captain? How do you guys have to kind of set the example for your younger students?
I think just how you said, setting the example, you always have to be a good one, and like realizing that people are watching you even when you don't realize it, which sounds creepy, but it's just because that especially being a senior and especially who I am, I'm a very outgoing person, so everyone knows me. And so when I'm like not standing the way I should, or I'm talking when I'm not supposed to, and like my friend keeps me in check, I always have to remember like, oh, I have to be the good example, And something that I challenged myself was at the beginning of the season was to be able to know every single woodwind's name, and also not just woodwinds, but like every kid, all 255 of us. And so I've kept that goal going, and obviously even though the season is over, I still get to see so many people. And so I think that's just how you stay committed, is getting yourself little goals and being able to know like, oh, I can learn 5 people's names today, or I can learn this person's name today, or I can remember their name. So I think it's just small commitments that you make that definitely make a difference.
That's good. What about you, Austin?
Yeah, I would have to say just close to the same exact thing. You have, like she said, 255 people out on that field, and you're trying to be the best of the best. You're trying to be that really good example. And especially for me, like that small goal that I try to make at the beginning of the season, I wanted to be the person that was the role model that set the bar, like for the brass or for my section or for like the Pride itself. I just wanted to exceed like in my craft and like either performance quality or music or anything visual that we could ever do. I want to try to do it and do it to my very best ability.
That's good.
That seems like a lot of pressure. I mean, how do you guys handle that?
I wouldn't say it's more like pressure. I feel like I don't want to say I was destined for this role. That sounds so weird.
It's just more like responsibility.
Yes, it's more like responsibility, and like you take that on, but it's not just on your shoulders. Like there's also the percussion and color guard captain, and so we all 4 of us, we share that role, and we also have our section leaders under us. And so I always make sure that I communicate with my section leaders, the flute, saxophone, clarinet section leaders, and I talk with them, and I'm like, how can I do this better, or what's something that we can do to keep the woodwinds going? And knowing that I have people beside me and that I can ask them for help, it definitely takes a lot of the pressure and responsibility off because I'm not alone. And also building that relationship with my section leaders to be able to know that I can trust them with information. They can come to me to address certain situations, or as like woodwinds, we can talk and talk about how rehearsal went, how we can do better, and being able to have that relationship is definitely strong.
That's good.
Yeah, for sure. When it comes to me, trying to get rid of that pressure, or at least alleviate it a little bit. Obviously, there's responsibility, like you said, that definitely plays a crucial role. But a lot of our leadership team, especially this year, like I didn't think it much as like, oh, like these are the people that are supposed to run the field. But all of these people are my friends. So all of my problems or like worries or stuff that I was trying to like deal with or improve better, like I could just be like, hey, I can reach out to Jasmine. It's like, can we do this better? Can we do this better? How can I be a better person and try to make your life easier? So like being very close with that leadership team, it really very, very helped a lot.
That's awesome. How do you guys think you have left your mark on the Pride of Broken Arrow? I mean, you guys will probably be coming back as alumni, so what do you look to see as you're coming back?
I think definitely the most fulfilling thing will be able to see like my underclassmen and upperclassmen to be able to step into the potential that I've like seen in them. And I remember having a talk with the Woodwinds at the beginning of the season being like, I see potential in all of you. And over the season, I've seen them grow into that potential. So I think that's the most fulfilling thing and most impacting thing on me, to be able to see that I've stepped into my potential, but so have they.
Wow.
Yeah. At least for me, like I know, especially in past years, that either I've marched or years before that, like Jasmine said, we're coming up on a 100-year legacy of like this organization. But whenever I come back and I'm an alumni, I can finally hear the show, from the stands. A lot of the times, I'm always performing it. I just hear it from a video. So being able to hear that and like hear the true power of like, especially my section, the brass line, and like, as she was saying, making them grow into like their full potential and just try to be their very best human beings that they possibly could be. I'm really, really excited to see that.
That's awesome. So it's definitely something you're looking forward to coming back.
Of course.
That's great. Well, on a less serious note, how do you guys feel about doing a music trivia game?
Let's go for it.
Sure. Yeah.
So I'm gonna play a couple of theme songs for you, and you're just gonna have to guess which one it is.
Okay.
All right. Here we go.
Oh, Toy Story.
Yeah.
Toy Story.
Okay.
You guys know the name of the song.
Oh, you got a friend of me.
Yeah.
All right. I will give you both a point for that one. What about this one?
You can't tell I'm competitive.
Oh, Big Bang Theory.
You got it.
The what?
The Big Bang Theory.
Oh.
Yeah,
okay.
that's it.
Yeah.
All right. This one, it's not necessarily a theme song, but you would definitely have heard it in a little bit of an older movie.
Eye of the Tiger.
That is the song. What movie
From
do you think
Rocky.
it's from? It's from Rocky.
Ooh.
All right. and
I'd say
then-
they both get points from
We got
that.
that.
Yeah, we'll give y'all both one. Hey, what about this one? This one's definitely a little bit older too.
I'm jamming with it.
Yeah, me too. I like it.
Actually, it's okay. I wouldn't have guessed this one either.
I don't
Okay,
think
so
I
this one's
know.
from That 70s Show.
Oh,
you guys ever heard of that?
I've heard of it, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I've
They're
only
making a remake, like That 90s Show.
yeah, That 90s Show. I think I've seen the newer one, but not the old one.
Okay.
And then this one you should both know.
Oh, Friends.
All right, we'll just end it off there. I think
That's a tie.
was that a tie?
That's a tie.
All right. Well, moving on.
It's okay, we're all winners.
We've actually got a couple more questions about some of the competitions you guys just had. So I know you guys just came out of state, but before we get to that, what are some of your favorite competitions throughout the year?
I would say definitely going, obviously not every year is the same because last year we got to go to Disney, but definitely going to Grand Nationals and just walking into that big stadium and like seeing so many seats filled, I think is definitely the coolest thing. And to be able to walk around and people being like, oh my gosh, you're Broken Arrow. And I think definitely freshman year, I was like, yeah, I'm from Broken Arrow. Like it's just someplace in Oklahoma. But I didn't know the, like, as I was saying earlier, the legacy behind what I'm in right now. And so definitely from senior to freshman year, I've been more grateful to just be in this band because of the zip code I live in, you know?
Yeah.
And how people would like trade anything for that. And I think I've definitely taken it for granted, but being able to be in the competition and be like, oh my gosh, there's Broken Arrow. And so I think that's definitely something that's really cool.
That's great.
Yeah, something for me, like I was mentioning before, obviously I loved playing trombone, playing my instrument in middle school band, but whenever I got to 8th grade and I was filling out my enrollment card and I saw that I wanted to do band again, and then, the Pride of Broken Arrow, like those audition camps were coming up soon. I had no idea what I was getting myself into.
Yeah.
So just really seeing that, and like she was saying, where we live and like where our zip code is, I had no idea what this was all about, just about until my 8th grade year when I was first introduced to it. And just all the memories like you make along the way, it's really very impactful in my life, and it's something I wouldn't take for granted.
That's great. I feel like Broken Arrow definitely has a lot of opportunities.
Oh,
And
100%.
and so, I mean, the Pride of
Broken Arrow is
Broken
the
Arrow,
best place to be, honestly.
yeah, the Pride of Broken Arrow being one of those things, it's just like, I don't know. I feel like a lot of times once you get involved, once you realize like what exactly Broken Arrow is, that's when you realize just how powerful it is. Like we have so much going on. There's just even being involved, like people will know you from around the country.
Yeah.
And it's kind of ridiculous, but I mean,
Like I'll
I
go
love
to
it,
Walmart and I'll wear my Pride jacket, and someone will be like, "Oh my gosh, like my granddaughter was in the Pride, or my cousins was in the Pride," and so it's just like crazy how everything's connected.
Exactly.
A little off topic from conversations, but I'm genuinely wondering, with that many kids, is it difficult to get everyone organized during practice, during competitions?
That's such
had
a
a nerve
good
here.
question, because I think this past season it definitely, especially like I know we saw it as people on leadership, but it's definitely hard for the directors to teach and for us to learn when there's a lot of talking, and so sometimes we'll have such like things like silent rehearsals where no one talks the entire night just because we have a lot to get done, or some like, I don't want to say as a punishment, but as something to keep us locked down and keep us focused on what we're trying to do. And so that's definitely something that we implement as leadership, and just being able to like, you earn that respect from your underclassmen because they see you work hard. And so it definitely helps that they understand like, oh, we need to be quiet right now. And it's like a mutual respect kind of thing.
That's how you build your legacy as well. You leave that behind for
Yes,
the
100%.
young students. That's good.
Yeah, so same thing like with that, bouncing off of leadership. A lot of people, whether they're on the field, like, and if they notice it or not, like a lot of our leadership staff or people in that group are influential, because there are four-year seniors, there are people you look up to, people who've made all district, all state, good players, good people, very likable. So not saying that there's a necessarily like hierarchy to it, all, but more just like if that group of people can all be focused on one certain idea, then obviously there are people who, it's like raising your hand in class and asking a question, but obviously other people in the class have the same exact question, so it's just like a bandwagon effect to where if you're all striving towards one goal, you can all get it done. Yeah.
That's great. And for our final question, I mean, what was it like just going to Grand Nationals this year? I heard you guys placed 3rd place. That was amazing. I'm glad that you guys got to place in Grand Nationals. But I mean, you guys have been to it before, so what was it like? How did it differ from previous years? And what are you gonna miss about it?
So at least for me, like I love hanging out with my friends. I love like being in my room with my best buds, doing everything like that, and obviously performing. After you, prelims is our only guaranteed performance, and then after that, shall we advance? We always say, shall we advance? You go on to semifinals, then you go on to finals, and you're finally there. The top 12 in the entire country that you're going against, and like you're doing all this really great stuff, all this really great performing and touching other people's lives. What differs from like playing notes on a page or walking from one spot to another is that you're performing, you're putting your heart and your soul, your emotion into it, and you're connecting with others in the audience. That's what we really strive to do at Broken Arrow. And then after that, like Jasmine is saying, like Jasmine, you've been on fire this entire
Thank you.
podcast.
Thank you.
But like once you take your horn off your face for the final time, especially like as a senior, all those emotions are flooding in. You know, if you put so much time, so much effort, so much like patience with other people and with yourself, you know, all of that great just sinks in, and it sinks in super heavy. Everyone's hugging, everyone's giving high fives, like crying on each other's shoulders because they're so happy. And a lot of them, like, especially my freshman year, you know, we got a record-breaking score and it was great, and I was crying and I didn't even know why.
Same.
So there's a lot of emotions and a lot of great energy that goes into it.
Wow, that's truly amazing.
I was like so soaked into what you were saying. What was the question again?
It was just, you know, what are some of the memories that you got out of this year, and how was it different from the years before?
I think definitely coming back to Grand Nationals, because last year we went to Disney and we got to march in the parade. We got to perform in the Orlando Regionals. So having that break and coming, and last year was my first year as, you know, an upperclassman. So this year's my senior year, and so definitely reflecting back on how I felt freshman year in Grand Nationals versus how I feel now. There's a lot of things that I kind of I'm trying to remember more, because freshman year, honestly, it was like a haze. You know, it felt like so long ago, and it was such a whirlwind. This year, I'm trying to like cling on to so many memories because it is my last year, and I think, especially when we got the Esprit Decor Award, and basically that award means that your band, the whole band received that, and so it means that your whole band is just like the best sport ever, and they exemplify what it means to be in marching band, and you're kind people and you're courteous people. And that award, they basically ask all the volunteers that are at Bands of America, and they ask all the staff, all the people, who was the most, who embodied that award, who embodied that kind of attitude. And so as Broken Arrow, we were collectively voted as that. And I think like a lot of people might be mad that we got third or think that we got robbed, but I think the thing that I've taken away most from this whole competition is that getting that award truly embodies who the Pride of Broken Arrow is and the legacy that we have, that we're keeping. And that legacy is just, it's so special. There's nothing like it in the whole world. And so I think that that's what I'm going to take away from this whole experience.
I'm so glad that you guys have that mentality towards that. That's just, I feel like that definitely embodies what it is to be a Tiger, you know? I feel like you guys definitely represent our band well. You guys have done a great job this year, and I'm glad that as seniors, you guys can take that away from it. But I just want to thank you guys for being our guest today. Thank you for
having us on.
Thank you for answering our questions. You guys were great guests. I mean, probably some of the best that we'll ever have. So
it's been such a joy talking to you guys.
I agree. You guys are great hosts.
Thank you. We appreciate that. And we'll just end the podcast out there. We'll see you guys next time on Into the Jungle.